50 Cent is going after Jim Jones after Jim diss Nas on Fat Joe and Jadakiss's podcast. Jim Jones just said he's a better rapper than Nas and has done more for the culture than Nas ever called. How did Jim go from idolizing Nasto destroying his legacy? And could Jay-Z be the reason he's doing all this? Why did Jim Jones side with Jay-Z after dissing and hating on him for decades? Is 50 Cent right about Jim Jones buying Jay-Z's puppet?
Yeah,
Were you smoking when you said you better than Nas?
I might have been a little bit. Well, as far as let's get this right. I'm way more influential than Nas, and I don't care what nobody say. I know I made a little boo-boo when we talk about the sales and all this type of shit. I don't feel like getting into that rhetoric about where I started and where he started.
Well, you said that
but
bullshit.
listen, Nas was nice when I was in high school.
Yeah, I just seen the Breakfast Club. Jimmy popping all that bullshit. I be seeing you, Jimmy, talking about we Gucci boo boo. He in the Gucci store. Talking about we Gucci boo boo. The Black King was going fuck you up. Jimmy, they was like, Marita Monero. Fucking Coca-Cola.
The entire thing started after Jim went in the Jadakiss and Fat Joe podcast talk about his recent hits. During the episode, Joe brought up how some kids were comparing Jim to Nas and claimed that for this generation, Jim is much bigger than Nas. Now, Jim has always been a fan of Nas, so for him to not clear up the air on this is just weird.
Recently saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
Yeah, that's my young boy.
big hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying? Nas is like a god.
In my era too. I mean,
So to be compared,
Well, let me
that young kid out.
he was young and we loved that he loved Jim Jones. I want you to break it down.
Let's break this down. I admired Nas, but remember Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade.
Jim just laughed and said these new kids don't even know Nas, and the way Nash's influenced rap culture is nothing compared to what he's done.
So Nas was my idol when I was young. Like you did, came to dressing, the wordplay, the music, everything. I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then as I got in the game, you gotta realize that your rivals would be idols, and not to take anything away from that, I developed my own style and my own lane that these kids start to gravitate towards the same way I gravitated towards Nas when I was younger and things like that. It's a whole different generation. We talking about 94, 93, I was in 11th grade. Nigga, it's 2025. There's a big gap there, you know what I mean? And I want people to understand that, so when Shorty's telling people that, yeah, he's 20-some years old, that goes to show the part of the era that he's in, that I came into light and started going crazy that these kids love me. They don't really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them, some of them though. But
you know what I mean?
A lot of them though.
Now, no one can deny that Dipset was huge and had a huge impact on hip-hop and rap. But Jim wasn't talking about diplomats here. Nope. He said that his career is bigger than Nas and Dipset has nothing to do with it.
I hear the comparisons and the nigga trying to act funny when it comes. No, I've been spanking a lot of this. I'm talking about the industry. I've been putting on. So let's not get into that where we get into numbers and I gotta show you the statistics of what I've done. You heard to what other people was done. You heard them. You want to go to the Billboard entries, pull up Nas' Billboard entries, then pull up my Billboard entries.
Listen, we can't compare the two. What I'm trying to tell you is
I want to go there. I want to go down the line now, because now we going down the line. He's a rapper and I'm a rapper.
Listen,
let's go statistically.
It feels great.
No, but I want to go statistically, because when people be like,
I feel the same way. We all feel the same way.
And forget about the numbers. My numbers back up.
Let me step up to the forefront.
The second that Jim claimed that he was bigger and better than Nas, the environment in the room shifted. You can see it clearly in Jada's face. He's not amused, and frankly he thinks Jim is spewing complete BS. Nas is a legend and Jim is someone who no one even took seriously as a rapper until Balling dropped. Jim himself was praying for a chance to meet with Nas just a year ago, and now he thinks he's a better artist than Nas. Jada didn't say much, but one look at his face and you can tell exactly what he and every other artist in the industry is thinking.
Favorite rappers coming up and things like that.
I heard you say that.
Since the barbecue and things like that, like he really put the whole dope boy rap, crack hustler, get fresh rap into perspective before anybody else. Before I heard Jay do it, before I heard anybody else, like he changed the cadence of rap into a whole different steam. Like he's the one that broke the camel's back when it came to artists like, to me, when it came to artists like Big Daddy Kane and all these artists that came right before him. Like after Nas came with that, they started to fade out, and then Jay, Fat Joe, like all of these rappers that are spitting about the life that we was really starting to live right now and how it was changing. Like this is, you know what I mean? So that's how I felt about that whole little situation.
After this, Jim went a step further, saying that he could run circles around Nos when it came to rapping. And that's when things really got out of hand. Jim didn't just stop at saying he was better. He doubled down. He claimed that lyrically, flow-wise, and even when it came to cultural impact, NS couldn't compete with him. In Jim's words, I'm more relevant now than NAS has ever been.
Put it to you like this, Jim. Hey, bro, you been in this thing, but lyrically, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you.
Yeah,
Y'all
but look
ain't
how
ever
you
with
dress.
Nas.
Look how you dress. You don't even be in the same places I be in. The
But
things
I-
that we, listen to
I
me,
can be in the church house. You can't F with Nas lyrically. I don't know who told you that. Now look, I know you on that good stuff, but you're not seeing Nas.
Bro,
You're
it's a
not
bunch
seeing
of
Nas, bro.
You got a bunch of
Let's be
40 and
real.
50 You got a bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds in their panties because I said I'm better
It
than
don't
Nas.
matter.
Look at you. Look at you.
Nobody,
all in your,
ain't
all in
nobody
your
from
filth.
Dipset gonna take
Shannon,
you
that
over
show-
Nas.
Billboard entries, Spotify listeners, and #1 albums. Jim Jones tried to use the stats game to his advantage. He claimed his numbers speak for themselves, bragging about streaming spikes and viral moments, but what hadn't expect was that everyone had talked to came armed with receipts, and they weren't in his favor. NAS fans aren't going to let Jim
Diplomats,
disrespect
no nobody
Alajan.
else. Me, Jim Jones. Check my track record. Then check everybody else's track record. Then go to the billboards and check all my entries. Then check all them entries and like that. If you want to go to the billboard entries, pull up Nas billboard entries. Then pull up my billboard entries.
Can we address one thing though?
Go ahead.
Jim Jones has 9 entries in the Billboard 200 with 3 top 10 albums and no #1s, while Nas has 27 entries, 16 top 10 albums, and 6 that have reached #1 on the Billboard 200.
Right now, 2025, I'm in the game still rapping at a high capacity. If Nas wants to smoke, come in the booth. I will rap
You don't
circles
want no
around.
smoke.
Jim Jones is rapping at a high capacity right now in 2025. I'm on record as saying I think some of the best music that's been coming out of New York in recent years has been from Jim Jones. I haven't seen Nas in that mode. Nas still makes great music at a high level. I just haven't seen Nas in that, let's get active, getting at each other mode.
I'm still here. From whatever you painted the picture to be to being a hype man, or he wasn't the best rapper, or he just started to get whatever you want to narrative you want to paint. You still got to listen to me talking to you right now in 2025. What I did for Nas probably never been done for him in his life. He's never been that viral at all, ever. He's never been talked about like this ever in his life. The last time he was in some shit like this where people were comparing is when him and Jay was beating on him. You heard?
Even if by some miracle Jim Jones had more streams and more #1 albums than NAS, does that even matter? Nazi Haas inspired a generation and reshaped hip-hop in a way that Jim can't even begin to imagine. Street impact is what really matters.
Jim Jones went on Fat Joe and Jadakiss's. Oh, look, a topic in the topic. Yeah. He went on Fat Joe and Jadakiss's podcast and had a lot to say about some dude on the internet that said Jim Jones is better than Nas and has more Billboard hits than Nas.
It was a young kid. I believe he was like 23 or something, 22, 23. And he was saying that for his generation, his era, they don't look at Nas. And a lot of people took offense to that. I personally did not take offense just because of the kid's age, of the generation.
It's like a sports conversation. Like the numbers are the numbers. But in New York City, with rappers, we don't necessarily go by that.
Yes, Travis Scott is the bigger act, more hits, more numbers, more. But to the rappers, don't nobody give a about what Travis Scott is talking about.
This beef didn't start today. NAS and the Pet have been going at it since the 2000s when NAS dissed the Diplomats and called Cameron's album Come Home with New Hack. Cameron responded by releasing Adisk over Nas's Hate Me Now beat, starting what would be a decade-long foe. Around the same time, Jim and Jay started having a falling out. Jay publicly made fun of Jim.
What's up with that Jim Jones, man? Hip-hop, of course, you know, is a competitive sport. But on the other end of it, it's like certain people shouldn't be able to say your names until they've done something in the genre of music. I've done too much in this music to even have to answer that question. Like, Jim Jones, who is Jim Jones? Like, he's not on anyone's top 10 list. He's not like no one's top 10 list, maybe not even his family. I was saying last night, it's like the 8th guy on the bench just screaming at Jordan, like, you a bum. Like, you want to be like the 9th guy on the bench. I'm not even worried about you.
Jay and Jim would continue to beef with Jim siding with Cameron after Jay refused to make Cam the vice president of Rockefeller. That decision deepened rift between the Harlem Crew and Jay-Z, fueling a years-long feud filled with subliminal shots, diss tracks, and behind-scenes tension. Jim and Cam felt sidelined and disrespected, especially since it was Dame Dash who had originally brought them into Thelebo.
The thing everybody kind of talks about is Cameron erasing that Jay-Z verse.
Jay one day was like, I did a little something for you in the studio. Then he had something to Old Boy.
This is Old Boy's already #1?
Yeah, it's popping.
All right.
Yeah, I listened to it and I was like, erase that shit.
That's his glory to tell us like that. It was a hell of a move and it worked.
He had never gave Cam a verse. So now that he had to take a record and it got hot, now Jay wanted to jump on it.
Jay being so big of an artist at that time, but the way it happened, I don't see nothing wrong with the move that he did. That was kind of the genius that he had with him when it came to combating things that were coming at us and shit like that. I mean,
I listened to it and I was like, erase that shit. You see, did this shit to me.
That's what they hated about Cam, because he just wouldn't bow down to Jay.
Jim beefed with Jay for years and even put his hands on one of Jay's executives. In his disses, Jim branded Jay as a softie who had become disconnected from the streets and accused him of trying to shut Harlem out of Rockefeller. On December 22, 2008, Jones punched and kicked a friend and colleague of Jay-Z at a Manhattan Louis Vuitton store. He later pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault the following November. However, would end by Jim crawling back to Jay-Z and begging him for a deal. The same man that Jim dissed for decades was now going to save his career. Jim is a chronic flip-flopper, always turning his back on the people he's friends with and the things Hesed.
If I told you I was in the Roc Nation office, how would you feel about that? Huh? You think I was lying? That's clear enough for you? Talk to me. Let me know your sentiments. You heard?
This isn't even the first time that Jim has turned on his words. And this is why 50 doesn't respect him. Back in 2007, at height of a beef between Gunnet and Dipset, Jim accepted 50 Cent's offer to come to a Gunnet event. Jim thought 50 was going to sign him, but 50 knew better than to sign a traitor. 50 just wanted to show Cameron what kind of offerson Jim really was. 50 embarrassed Jim in front of everyone and made it clear that he didn't respect him in the slightest.
And I'm back. It's your boy 50 Cent bringing you more Rap City. It's going down right here. I know this is your favorite show right now because I'm on it. And I told y'all earlier I was going to bring somebody new in the G Unit. I might have a new signing, I might not. You see, I got the whole G Unit here. We're going to get it going. What you got back here? Ah!
Oh, man.
Yeah. What you know? What you know?
What's good?
It's your man Jim Jones right here. Bought you the biggest record of last year, right?
Oh, yeah, we had a nice
what we
time
call
last
that
year.
one? What we call that
was
one?
balling. We still balling. What's poppin', big baby?
It's balling. You know, so...
Oh, no, man, we got this.
So why was you here? Right? Well, we got to do that one time. Tell me how to show you how you do it.
Jimmy was not a rapper then.
Right.
He was your man, like on the side, like in the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when balling took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing. He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that, and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally he had one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked, and I knew I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was gonna go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. Then you gotta watch to see how he responds. And then when you see, he like, oh, you really like that. Get me this, get me Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want him. We want you at the show, Jimmy. Yeah, but that was one of those things I just threw it out and see what. And then when he bit to it, because it was like he was having a moment that not sure that was going to ever happen again at that point. And then he's going, for them, they had records that where, look, I always say this to certain artists, I go, damn, when is he going to have his moment? Like, Fab, I said this to him.
I still got to know, like, how did that work, you performing? Like,
they call me like, yo, you want to come out and perform at the show? Shit, I got the hottest record, I'm popping out. And I wish they would look at me sideways, think they're gonna do anything funny. I'm with all of that. We'll boom this shit up, it'll be nasty in New York. That's how I was living back then. That's what I was on. I wasn't on nobody's friendship. I was in there like a pirate. What's up? What's up? That's how I was. You dig? Like, hope everybody be calm, because y'all know this shit gonna go way left real quick. You dig? I'm here for what I need out this shit.
Right.
It's that crowd to hear me do balling and let me get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so it wasn't no deep thought, like this is like, nigga, it's an opportunity, I gotta go.
Yeah, I wasn't going there to do nothing genuine at all. Them niggas didn't even dress.
50 and Jay-Z have been beefing since day one, and the second Jim went begging to Jay for a deal. He made 50 his enemy. Even now, 50 thinks Jay is using Jim to get back at Nas. Jim started throwing shots at Nas right after joining forces with Jay. And if you know anything about 50, you know that didn't sit right. In his eyes, Jay is using Jim as a pawn, stirring up old tension with Nas without getting his own hands dirty. The 50s made it clear. He sees right through Jim's act.
That was what they did to Nas. I know what you did to Nas, Jay. That's f***ed up. Nah, he come out on the same weekend.
Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop it.
And his shit coming out? My shit coming out.
I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on time.
How the f*** you do that, man? I be saying that I do whatever the f*** I want to do, and they be looking at me like I'm grimy for doing that. This nigga be super quiet doing some real grimy shit. Looking and see if anybody noticed the grimy thing I just did.
50 knows that Jay-Z is behind Jim's actions. Jay doesn't like getting his hands dirty while he keeps his image clean and calculated. He lets guys like Jim throw the punches for him. 50 realized this years ago in his own words, a boss keeps their hands clean even when they do.
Jay-Z recently said something crazy about he said nobody's scared of 50 Cent.
I think he would have done that if that was 50 Cent. No one's scared of 50 Cent. I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
I think it was kind of taken out of context a little bit, but what do you think about it?
I don't think it was taken out of context. No, I think the guy who was talking to him made him feel like a punk. You see what I'm saying? So he had to say, yo, nobody scared of 50. Let's get this clear. Nobody is scared of 50. You know, but I'm not the issue. Him making you feel like a punk is the issue. And at the end of the day, I look at it and people don't assess themselves. Even really intelligent people. Jay's a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? He'll analyze other people and other things that they're doing and not actually look at what's happening to him and his transition. and difference. But his actual, right now, he's in a real safe space. He created this real safe aura. This is why people walking on the stage and why it's happening like that. A lot of it wouldn't have been like that if he actually dealt with his issues himself. See, he's a piece of work, man. He always put somebody in front of him. When Jada came for him, he put Beanie in front of him. And Beanie went back and forth with Jadakiss. When Cam came for him, he put True Life in front of him.
Jay-Z's entire career is built off of flies, manipulation, and calculated power plays. He's not just a rapper, he's a strategist. From stealing Biggie Stiletto stepping on his own Rockefeller parters, Jay has always positioned himself as the king by moving in silence and letting others take the fall. Whether it was cutting off Dame Dash, sidelining Cameron, or now using Jim Jones to go at Nas, Jay's mo has never changed. He lets others do his dirty work while he pulls the strings from behind the scenes.
It's a huge difference in energy internationally in 50 Cent and Jay-Z. In fact, his largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records sold 5 million. And let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there. Because America can be purchased. We can buy it with marketing dollars. You see what I'm saying? But the rest of the world, there's not enough marketing dollars to go around.
He's seemingly around Diddy a
I
lot.
don't know.
Relax.
That was a real suburb question.
I know, right? Proximity.
And the proximity.
Proximity. That's the SAT hit parade word. I had to learn
Proximity
that.
of Jim. Do you think he fucking knew all of the shit that was going on? Then that was like a...
I don't want to incriminate myself.
I know, but the way he said it...
Like I said.
No matter how you answer that shit, you snitching.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a nice kind of
That was
question.
You asked the question like a fan.
Hey, I grew up with white people, but one thing I know is how to get a black guy in trouble.
But it's a great question. Yo, just give him the Happy Meal before you ask him to snitch, bro. You're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way, like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up.
I don't got that in my past. I'm not.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
Like,
I took.
not that
I
it's
took,
real or
no,
not, but-
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better, for her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget what the happened. What the fuck is going on here, bro? Yes, I took the drink. I gave me the fucking drug to perform, so she could remember and possibly love me for that.
Did it work?
What the f? This is, yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good. Like, doing pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, this is the opposite of normal shit that we're talking about, bro.
That is why. I don't know why it's so hard for people
So
just
for
to
people to
acknowledge
feel
weird
like
shit is
you
weird.
would have something or you would have reserved energy because you feel like you was doing it too, this is people that are looking on separation between their hardships or their the things that they got going on that would be issues and what a celebrity's issues would be.
Wait, what does that mean?
They think all celebrities are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, and when you see, if I wasn't saying anything, guess what? You could safely say that a person on the outskirts that is not involved in hip-hop culture could think that everybody in hip-hop culture is with that shit.
Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them.
50 values loyalty, and that's why he's never aligned himself with Jay or Jones. They're both hypocrites who will do whatever it takes to succeed. This is also why 50 loved has stood with 54 years. And when Jay tried to stop 50 from performing at the Super Bowl, Way's the one who stood up for him. At the end of the day, numbers fade, but respect doesn't. Jim might be trending now, but legends like an S built that foundation he's standing on. You can't troll your way into the algorithm, but you can't troll your way into the Hall of Fame. Let us know in the comments. Is Jim us chasing relevance? Or is 50 right? Has he sold his soul to be Jay-Z's pawn?